Hey guys, it's Mr. Fresh. Today is Wednesday, April 22nd. It's day 2 of e-learning for this week, so hopefully you guys were able to get the assignment done from Monday and you have started working on today's assignment. I'm going to go through some of the national days for today, the quote of the day, and then I have a pretty good book to share with you guys. So another thing about today is we're still going to meet today, 1 o'clock for the afternoon group and 2 o'clock for the morning group. Hopefully we can have Ms. Wheeler join us for both of those today. We're just going to talk again about the assignments. If you guys have any questions, you can ask, and we'll go from there. Okay, so today, April 22nd, is also Administrative Professionals Day, Bookmobile Day, Earth Day, Girl Scout Leaders Day, and Jelly Bean Day. Yeah, so if you have any jelly beans laying around your house, today's the day to eat them. Celebrate Jelly Bean Day. Okay, and then our quote for the day. Well, this is a long one. All right. Ideals are like stars. You will not succeed in touching them with your hands. But like the seafaring man on the desert of waters, you choose them as your guides, and following them, you will reach your destiny. From Carl Schurz. So kind of what that means, ideals, that's like where we have an idea or a purpose for how we want our lives to go, like what we are striving for. So he's saying that those ideals, they're intangible, which means that you can't touch them. However, if you pursue them, if you use them as your guide and something you're trying to achieve, and you continue working hard to achieve those goals for your life, you will. So they're like the stars because you can't touch them with your hands. But if you follow them, you'll find success. So that's a pretty cool one. All right. So the book that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today, I don't really remember where I got this book from, but I'm looking forward to showing you guys the illustrations because they're really interesting. They're very abstract and kind of goofy drawings. But you guys hopefully know by now how much I love shoes, and so I thought this was a good one to share today. And this is called The Shoemaker Extraordinaire. The Shoemaker Extraordinaire by Steve Light. So this guy here with the crazy legs and the crazy arms, that's the Shoemaker Extraordinaire. And we're going to kind of see the adventures that he goes on in this story. So The Shoemaker Extraordinaire by Steve Light. Once upon a time, there was a man named Hans Crispin who traveled throughout the land. He was called a shoemaker extraordinaire because he could create a shoe that fit each customer just right. So one thing that's kind of interesting about this right off the bat is we don't really know shoemakers the same way as what they once used to be. A shoemaker was someone who would hand make shoes for each individual customer. Nowadays, we can just go to the store, like Meijer and Walmart, or we can go to shoe stores, and you can buy all kinds of shoes that were probably made in factories and somewhere far off, but this is about a guy who actually makes the shoes himself for his customers. It's pretty cool. One day, Hans Crispin met a man outside a village. "I'm Hans Crispin, Shoemaker Extraordinaire. Would you like a new pair of shoes?" "Shoes? I have plenty of shoes," replied the short man. "Unless you have a pair to make me taller." "Taller?" answered Hans. "How simple! I have the perfect pair." So there's the guy. He's trying to reach that apple. Hans gave him a pair of shoes that could only be made by a shoemaker extraordinaire. The man ran through the village, telling everyone of the wonderful shoemaker. Now look at those. Those would be some crazy shoes to have. Maybe I could finally dunk. Soon, many people came to Hans in search of shoes. A little girl, whom everyone overlooked, wanted to be the center of attention. With her new shoes, she would never be a wallflower again. A wallflower is a name for someone who is kind of off to the side, disappears, like people don't notice them. It's kind of like they blend into the wall. So that's why they're called a wallflower. A woman who had many dogs was always tired from walking them. With Hans's new shoes, her dogs wore out before she did. Let's take a look at her shoes. What did the shoemaker do that made her shoes super unique and helpful for walking a dog? You see that? They're like wheels. There's dogs running in them. When a fisherman's boat sprung a leak, he did not need a new one. He had shoes from Hans. They're literally boat shoes. A man who was tired and had no pep asked Hans if he could rev him up. How many of you guys would like those kinds of shoes? They're like rocket booster shoes. Everyone in town was pleased with Hans and his work extraordinaire, except for the cobbler. He was bitter because no one came to buy his ordinary shoes anymore. So he devised a plan to rid the village of his rival. The cobbler told Hans that the giant, Barefootus, needed shoes. "Why doesn't the giant want you to make the shoes for him?" asked Hans. "Only a shoemaker extraordinaire like yourself could make shoes for a giant," said the cobbler slyly. Hans wholeheartedly agreed and went off to accomplish his task. He did not realize that the giant was not looking for a new pair of shoes, but for dinner instead. Bum, bum, bum. Pretty clever cobbler, huh? What's he hoping is going to happen to the shoemaker extraordinaire? What do you think he wants the giant to do to him? Yeah. Hans soon found a trail of things stepped on, stumbled over, and bumped into. Following it, he found Barefootus. "I'm Hans Crispin, shoemaker extraordinaire, ready to make you a pair of shoes," said Hans. "Shoes? I can't eat shoes. And since I cannot find my garden or my livestock, I will lock you up and eat you for breakfast tomorrow," grumbled Barefootus. Realizing the cobbler had tricked him, Hans ran as fast as he could. Chasing him, the giant stubbed his toe. This made him grumble all the more, and he almost ate Hans right then and there. That night, locked in a cage, Hans knew he needed a plan extraordinaire. So he set to work. What do you think he's going to do? "Where's my breakfast?" Barefootus bellowed as he came in the next morning, looking for Hans. "In the garden and in the barn," said Hans. "These shoes will help you find them." "I said I need no shoes," shouted Barefootus. "But these are shoes extraordinaire," beamed Hans. Barefootus slipped them on and could finally see the whole world at his feet. Instead of being breakfast, Hans shared in Barefootus' morning meal. The giant and Hans became fast friends and decided to teach the cobbler a lesson. So what was special about the giant's shoes? What did he do to them? The next day they journeyed to the village, straight to the cobbler's shop. "Where is the cobbler?" the giant roared while Hans hid. "I have eaten one shoemaker today and enjoyed the taste, so I came here to eat another." The cobbler, at hearing this, ran away and was never heard from again. "Is the giant going to eat us?" asked the villagers. "No, this is my friend Barefootus," replied Hans. And he told the villagers what had happened. "Any friend of yours is a friend of ours," they said. So Barefootus decided to stay in town and learn the cobbler's trade, as the villagers now had need of one. For Hans soon decided his work there was done, and it was time to move on. Saying goodbye to all his new friends, Hans went looking for new towns and new people. People who would need shoes extraordinaire. The end. All right. So, very big fan of this book. I just love the illustrations and the goofy shoes that he makes. It's a good one. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. So make sure you're getting to work on the assignments for today. If you have any questions, reach out and ask. One of the things I'm going to be doing a little differently with the assignment today is I'm going to have a passage for you guys to read. And even though I don't think you'll be able to mark it up and underline, kind of like how we do, just make sure that you read the passage carefully so that you can answer the questions that follow it. We'll talk about that some more during the Google Meet, so please try to be with us. There's a lot of you guys that still don't join us, so it'd be great to have you guys with us. So afternoon group, you're at 1 o'clock. Morning group, you're at 2 o'clock. So early in the afternoon. All right, so get to work. Again, reach out to me if you need any help. Make sure you do math too. Today is an A day, so I'm going to also be posting music stuff. So lots of things to keep you guys busy today. So make sure you're working. All right, I'll see you later, guys. Bye.